So now that we've created everything, we've created the seeders, we have the fake information, we created that using Faker. And the next thing we want to do is to actually work on the UI and make sure everything looks good. So for this, I'm just going to open my web. I'm just going to open my web and I'm going to comment all this out. And the first page that I want to show is I want to show the search. And we don't have this view right here. So let's just go ahead and create that. And right here in the view, I want to create a new file and I want to call it search.blade. And this will be .blade.php. And right here, let's just create that and just create that right here. So we have the search and let's just go over and run this and you can see this will be empty. Yeah, that's empty for now. So in our search, let's just go over and extend the base template. So let's just say for the base template, we want to extend this app. We want to extend this app right here. So we're just going to be removing some things. For example, we don't need all this UI. We don't need all this. We can remove this and yeah. So what else? We don't need all those. So yeah. So let's just say extends, and we want to extend the layout dot app. And if we should come over here and refresh, you can see we have the layout extended. And right here, we want to yield a content. It has already been done. So let's just come here and just say section, not this section. I mean section. Yeah, and this will be content. So if we should type anything, and you can see that right here. So this is where we'll be putting our view component. When we create it, this is where we're going to be putting our view component. But for now, let's just do some basic UI. So but for now, let's just bring this. Let's just align it to the middle. So let's just go ahead and do this and say div, and we want to give it a class of container. Right here, we want to have another div, and this will be colon md10. I want to use an offset of about 1. So let's see that and let's see how it goes. And if we should refresh, you can see that right here. So this looks okay, and let's just give it a padding of about 1. So if we should go over and refresh this, you can see we have this. And let's just try and put our view component inside this. Now to actually put the view component, we need to actually create the view component first. So let's go over to our app.js, not this. Let's go over to our JS, app.js. And right here, we're going to rename this to search component. And let's just do this, and this will be search. And just use the capital. Yeah. So we need to actually create this component, and let's just come over here and rename this. Let's just rename this to search. Search. Yeah, I think that's correct. And this will be let's call this search, and let's actually view this. So if we come over here and actually put this search component, and let's say search component, And let's just refresh this and see if we get that. uh let's see this. Let's just open our terminal and let's see root. Let's see the error we're getting. Search component, did you register it? Of course we did. And right here, let's just see search component. Yeah, everything looks okay. Um, okay, we forgot to run npm command, so let's just run watch and let's just wait for that to compile everything. Now this has compiled everything, so let's try to refresh and see. Yeah, so we have that component right here. Let's just close this and we can actually now go ahead and design this component to what we want. So I have some basic HTML right here, and we're going to just do some basic. So if we should go over to our component, let's just remove this. Let's just remove all this and remove this too. And right here, we want to give it a background of about white. So if we should refresh, we should see the background, and we need to actually put a value inside this for now. Let's just see that. So you can see that right here, and let's just give this a padding of about 4. And yeah, so let's refresh. So you can see that right here, and you can do whatever style you want. It all depends on you. The main purpose of this video is to show you the backend, how the search queries are being performed, so you can actually do this the way you want. So right here we want to just have a h4, and this will be search our database. You can call it whatever you want. It all depends on you. So search our database. I want to have a form. So this will be form. So we want to have a actually have a form right here. And let's just go ahead and say form. And right here we want to have a div and call this form group. So slash div. Want to close that. And right here we want to have an input, and this we have a class of about let's say form control. So let's just say yeah, so let's see that and close that, and let's just see how it looks. I think we're having an error here. It says form let's see where the error is. Okay, right here, I think this is it. Yeah, so let's just refresh this. So you can see the input right here, and let's just say give this a margin top of about 5, and let's just give this a padding of about 3. So let's just refresh. 5 seems too much. Let's just make it 2 and see. Yeah, this looks better. And yeah, so we have the input right here, and we can just attach a key event to this, and this key event we actually get when a user is typing and actually capture the value of the form and actually send it to our database, and this we perform the query and send a response back So that's what we want to do. And right here, the next thing we can just do is actually do like a template that would display our results. So we can do like a template that will display our results. So right here we can have a div and give this a class of about uh, empty5, and let's just close this. And right here we can have about h3. So h3 is smaller than it's actually bigger than h4. So let's do h5, and this will be search results for. So we want to have this like a search result for something. Want to show this will be rendered conditionally because we don't want to show it every time. We only want to show it if the user has typed something. So let's go over to and actually see this right here. So you've seen this, and we don't want to display this every time. We actually want to display this if the user has typed something. So right here we want to have a data. Right here we want to have a search word which we're going to bind with the uh, input right here. So we can say vbind vmodel rather, and this will be search word. So right here we want to say we want to bring out that search word. So hopefully this makes sense to you. And if we should come over here and start typing, you can see we have the search result for this right here. So this is a two-way data binding, and yeah, so we want to have that search result, and yeah. So the next thing we actually need to do is to actually query and send that back to our API, and the API we perform we take that word and send it to our controller. The controller will perform the search, and is going to respond with a JSON, and from the JSON we can get the result and actually display those results. So that this will be all for this video, and I'll see you in next video, guys.